You know, according to the historical records on that day, it was a damp, rainy, cold day.
And a cold shoulder for the 600 black soldiers who sailed from Halifax Harbour in 1917, sharing the voyage to England with white troops.
And here they're going into something they don't really know what they're facing with people who don't want them.
The men felt the sting of racism every day, but especially after trying to enlist in the war effort.
When the black young men arrived, they were told, this is not your war, it's a white man's war. They were turned away.
Eventually, they formed the No. 2 Construction Battalion, known as the Black Battalion, the only segregated military unit in Canadian history. As it turned out, they did play a crucial part in the war, building rail lines, trenches, and bridges for the soldiers they wanted to fight alongside.
When you look at the remarkable aspect of those men wanting to serve when they really weren't wanted, as we commonly say here, they had to fight for the right to fight. That took a lot of inner strength.
For decades, their unique story was forgotten. But advocates and descendants mounted their own determined effort. First, dignifying derelict grave markers. Then, for a wider acknowledgement of their ancestors and the racism they encountered. The federal government is now planning a public apology for next July.
That apology needs to be one of those times when folks from across the country, folks from the U.S., folks from the West Indies can all come together to celebrate the No. 2 Construction Battalion. And that's part of what makes it a meaningful apology.
We've developed a website that features a list of all of the men that enlisted, that individuals can search from across Canada and say, look, is there anyone in my family lineage that's been a part of the No. 2?
Organizers are pursuing other forms of acknowledgement, like scholarships, and including the Black Battalion in school history classes, making their courageous struggle part of Canada's shared narrative. Ross Lord, Global News, Halifax.